France's government under Prime Minister Francois Bayrou looks set to fall after a vote of confidence on Monday, September 8. Opposition parties have already announced they will vote against Bayrou, who called the confidence vote as he attempts to push through plans for a budget squeeze in 2026. If Bayrou loses, President Emmanuel Macron has ruled out holding snap elections. Instead, he would likely have to appoint a new prime minister. Analysts suggest this could be a figure from the center-left, as Macron's previous four center-right premiers have failed to manage a fragmented parliament. But whatever happens, France faces political instability. According to political science professor Kevin, it will be difficult for any new premier to gather enough support to pass a budget. Current polls also indicate that new elections would not significantly change the makeup of France's National Assembly, leaving no clear majority for any political group.
So the Prime Minister called the confidence vote really is a gamble. So he has proposed a budget that is going to cut a great deal of money and also remove two public holidays. It's a very unpopular budget. And he knew that in proposing this budget, he was going to get a no confidence vote anyway. So his gamble was to essentially call a confidence vote so he could try to see if he could force the other actors in the opposition parties to negotiate with him.
Budget, on peut tomber très bas. Et nous ne serons jamais, nous les républicains,
du budget le plus austéritaire du XXIe siècle.
De votre prédécesseur. Ce budget,
Nous avons un budget imparfait. Et je voudrais dire à ceux qui l'ont remarqué que
looking ahead about whether or not the Prime Minister's gamble will pay off and whether or not he'll be able to survive this vote, if everybody from the opposition parties can be taken at face value, he will most likely lose this vote and the government will fall.
je sais d'espoir.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Premier ministre français. Et respect à tous les groupes politiques de cet hémicycle. Vous avez...
The major risk here is instability, that there's not a government in place to pass a budget, which must be passed by the end of this year, or we're not sure, we'll be in basically uncharted territory here in France. Now, there's no easy solution here because based on opinion polls right now, if the president were to dissolve parliament and hold elections, it's unlikely that things would change. It's most likely that you would have a parliament that is essentially the way it is right now, which is to say, no majority. So the president is really in a difficult position. There's no easy way out here. There are many people in France that are worried that the debt is so large that France could run into a debt crisis where international banks no longer want to loan money to the country. Obviously, the way to avoid that is to bring the deficit down, but nobody can agree on how. So the forces on the center-right want to do it by reducing spending, especially on social services. Folks on the left want to do it by increasing taxes on the wealthy. And those two ideas are incompatible. And as a result, because nobody can agree on exactly how to do it, and because there's not a majority in the parliament to pass this law, you end up in a situation where basically the opposition parties take their toys and go home, and the government falls. If President Macron actually dissolves Parliament, based on opinion polling right now, it looks like, again, there will not be a majority. It looks like the left bloc will have about the same that it has now. The center bloc, so that's Macron's bloc, will probably lose more seats. The center right will probably gain those seats. And the far right, run by the National Rally, they'll probably win about the same amount, so about a third of the vote.
Si vous voulez bien, on va en rester là de manière à ce que la logique. Ces gens si courageux se sont embarqués pour tâcher de briser.
My expectation is that things are not going to be resolved quickly. We're going to continue to see fragmentation, the inability for the Parliament to act decisively. The President is going to continue to be hamstrung and unable to also make things happen right away. My guess is that the best case scenario is that if the government falls, that France will get a new government, a new prime minister that is able to cobble together a budget that can pass and please financial investors. That's the best possible scenario, and if it does happen, it's going to be right at the wire.
Monsieur le Premier ministre,